Hey, everybody, welcome back to Big Blue Confidential. I am your host, Scott Fryer, and as week one has come to an end, mercifully, for us Giant fans, I welcome you back to the show for our week two matchup against Dallas Cowboys, and we will recap week one against the Washington Commanders. And it was not a great day on Sunday for the Giant fans. Big Blue Nation, we suffered again. And listen, who can honestly say, who can honestly tell me, look me in the eyes and tell me that you expected different? You expected us to go out and dominate the Washington Commanders. Because listen, I'm telling you right now, and I said it last week, the Washington Commanders are a good football team. They're Super Bowl contenders. They didn't have their best game, but you can see it. They do things well. They do things very well. And Jaden Daniels is an absolute stud. I mean, yeah, it's week one, and we're going to get into that in a second, but these are just my initial thoughts. He's an absolute stud. He's a young gun. He's one of the one of the better up-and-coming quarterbacks in the league. I mean, last year was any indication how his career is going to go. He's going to be spectacular. But we said this about RG3, and then the knee injury happens, and things happen, and Washington is a snake pit organization. And I'm going to have Kev on the show one day. The next time we play Washington, I'll have Kev come on the show, and we'll talk about it. And he'll tell you that they're a snake pit. He's always waiting for that one shoe to drop, right? For something bad to happen when things are going well. And but Sunday they did everything well. They except for a couple stupid penalties that they committed. The Commanders played well. They played well enough to beat the Giants, who did not play good football. It was painful at times to sit there and watch it, but that's what we do as Giant fans. We torture ourselves. We sit there and we torture ourselves, and when we make ourselves angry, I was pacing, I was cursing at the television, just trying to watch that mess. And I mean, what are you going to do? You go through, as a Giant fan, you're going through it so many times as Giant fans. We've done this, right? And then we'll have that stretch of a couple years will just be fantastic, right? And you know, it'll come back around. But man, in the meantime, we have to suffer, folks. We have to suffer. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk a little bit now about our beloveds and how it went on Sunday. It did not go well. Okay. First of all, we came out right out of the gate. I think Washington ended up with a first down off the first possession, and we got off the field, a couple drop passes by them. But I think they got a first down, and then they second set of downs, they ended up punting. We got a 3 and out. Right, 3 and out. That's the story of our lives. 3 and out all last season. 3 and out. And then listen, it's the same thing all over again. Okay. It doesn't matter who's under center. Okay. It doesn't matter who's under center right now with this offensive line. And I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it out loud. And there are going to be Giant fans out there that disagree with me, because I mean, that's what we do as Giant fans. We disagree with each other. We like to yell at each other. We like to say dumb things on social media. We like to insult each other. We like to, say this guy sucks and that guy sucks. I go on these social media pages and I'm just dumbfounded by some of the garbage I read coming out of the mouths of simps, coming out of the mouths of casual Giant fans who haven't been around that long, right? They are, maybe because they're young. Okay, maybe because they're young, or maybe because they just started following the Giants during Eli's tenure when we were good. For whatever reason, they're just delusional. And they're already calling for Dable's job. This guy sucks and that guy sucks, and we're ruining this guy and we're ruining that. It's 1 week. Yeah, it wasn't great. I get it. It wasn't great. It wasn't not good. It wasn't great. It wasn't even good. It was bad football. We didn't do everything bad. We're going to talk about that. There were some good things. There was some positivity, because I told you last week on the beginning of the show, I'm going to have full guy. I'm going to be a half full guy. And if you want to hate and you want to be angry and you want to be, angry Giant fan all the time, don't watch my show. Don't watch it, because that's not what you're getting here. I'm going to call things as they are. I'm going to call people out when it's needed. Okay. But I'm not going to sit here and just bash guys for 45 minutes to an hour. It's not what I do. It's not how I was raised as a fan. I mean, that's what I'm doing with the Yankees right now. I'm just bashing Cashman and Boone and our bullpen all over the place. But that's neither here nor there. But the New York Giants, we have problems, guys. And it all stems from the offensive line. Everything that is wrong with the New York Giants starts with the offensive line. Okay, there are other problem areas. I'm not ignoring that. But all of our major issues start at the offensive line. Yes, we went out and we drafted our guy on defense, and we're going to get to that too, because that was a good thing. We drafted our young quarterback. Okay, and we're also gonna touch on that a little bit, because I know there's some fans who are already calling for him to start, which is asinine. Okay, we got who we needed. We filled spots that were desperate, right? Because yes, I know that you need offensive linemen, and we'll get there. But was there a stud offensive lineman, like an absolute stud lineman, like a can't miss guy in this draft? I don't think so. Was there an offensive lineman better than Abdul Carter? A better football player than Abdul Carter? I don't think so. So you went with the best player available, and that was Abdul Carter when it was our turn to pick. And they did the right thing. Picking Jackson Dart at 25, absolutely the right thing to do, because we wanted him and we had the 32nd pick, and he wasn't going to be there. The Rams were taking him at 32. I'm sorry, at 26 or 27. I'm not 32. He would not have been there. We had to move up if that's the guy we wanted. But Russell Wilson, okay, not great, not great. You know, I'm not going to sit here and blame the offensive line for Russ being bad. Russ made some terrible throws. The sidearm, if you remember the little sidearm toss out to Tracy in the flat that didn't come within 5 yards of him. The hell was that? It was bad. It was bad. It's bad football. Okay, but we couldn't get anything going. We had muddy feet and we were slipping. Everything we touched offensively was terrible for a few drives. And then we started putting it together. And the Commanders helped us out with a couple of penalties. And I mean, whether you agree with the penalties or not, there were still penalties. And they gave us the first down after four. I think we went for it on fourth down twice on that drive. 9 plays inside the 20 in the red zone. I think 7 of those plays were inside the 5-yard line. We come away with 3 points. It's not good, folks. It's not good. I mean, the play calling, I'm talking to you, Mike Kafka. I'm talking to you, Brian Dable. Okay. I am a huge Brian Dable jock sniffer. I'm going to tell you right now. I love him. I think he's a great coach. I don't think that he does everything right all the time, but you have to remember this is his first head coaching job. Okay. And I know some people are going to disagree with this, but he does command the respect of his players. Okay, you might not feel that because there are certain players and even the coaches in the past that we've had, assistant coaches who try to disrupt that. But I think Dable's the guy. I don't think there's no reason to fire him, right? You can't fire him. If you're given a cook, if you own a restaurant and you're giving a cook rotten food to cook with, and then people are complaining about the quality of the food, you're going to fire the chef because you're providing him terrible food to cook with? No. You got to get him better food. That's exactly what we're talking about here. Okay. Even the best chef in the world, Gordon Ramsay. You can't make. I forget the quote. I wish I could remember. I'll remember it after the show, and I'll post it. But it's actually a good quote, and it actually nails it. If I can remember it, I'm just bad with that. But if I remembered it, you would understand exactly what I'm saying. But you can't, You can't go out there and expect miracles, right? You can't expect filet mignon when you're all you have to cook with is shit. All right, so that's part of the problem. But the play calling, it's got to be better. It's got to be better. Okay, and I told you, I'm just not gonna glaze everybody. I'm gonna call it out. That the play calling inside the 5 yard line was absolutely horrendous. Run the football. You got a good back with Tracy. Okay, you got a human pinball. You have what was the guy on the X-Men? Juggernaut. You got Juggernaut back there, 44. Cam Scatamo was a great pick, by the way, in the 6th round. You got that guy back there. I mean, yeah, I know he ran the football once and he ran into his own guy. So rookie mistake. But then we went away with it. We ran some trick plays. Throwing it to a lineman. Line up and run the football. That's giant football. That's NFC East football. Okay, we're running trick plays. Don't get cute. Let's play football, guys. Okay? That's one thing. Russell Wilson, 17 for 37 for 168 yards. That's Daniel Jones' numbers. And speaking of Daniel Jones, Buddy had 118.3 QBR this week. And the Colts, the Indianapolis Colts absolutely dismantled the Miami Dolphins. And I feel like you still can't decide who's who in football, right? You can't decide who's who in the NFL after week 1. Because there's a lot, even Philly looked bad. Philly looked bad. They looked great. They did enough to beat Dallas. We'll talk about that a little bit when we get to the Cowboys outlook. When we break that game down. They didn't look great. They have problems on defense. Okay, Dallas didn't look all that great. Dak wasn't that good. We have a lot of teams didn't look great. The Chiefs didn't look good. The only teams that looked really good this week, honestly, if you watched the best game of the week, obviously, in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to agree with me, best game of the week was Baltimore and Buffalo. That was a fantastic football game, especially for week 1. That was great. Okay, those two teams played well. The Green Bay Packers looked fantastic. Everybody else, terrible. I challenge you, I dare you to tell me another football team that you can say, you know what, they looked really good. And you can't. Maybe even the Vikings-Bears game, that was also a good game Monday night. Bears looked good for 3.4 quarters, and then they absolutely shit the bed at the end of the 4th quarter. Okay, J.J. McCarthy looked good. He didn't start off great, but he came around and he looked good. Caleb Williams started off great. Didn't finish well. Okay, but I think both of those teams are well coached, especially the Vikings. They're a well coached football team. And I'm already out of our eliminator pool. I picked the Bears because I was dumb and I did not pick my team. So, Justin, if you're watching, my bad, bro. I didn't pick my team before week 1 started, so I was left with the Monday night game. I had to pick one of those two teams, and I thought the Bears at home would do it and looked good for a while. I'm out. Week 1. Anyway, back to I digress. Back to our lonely Big Blue. Russ did not play well. Okay, Tracy Jr. 24 yards rushing. Russ was our leading rusher, by the way. 44 yard, 8 rushes for 44 yards. Had a 24-yard run, I think, at one point. Scatabo had -2 carries for -3 yards. He had a couple catches out of the backfield. One that was featured prominently on social media by NFL accounts was the one he bounced off 6 Washington defenders. And he looked good at times. He looked really good at times. And I think they should give him the football more. I don't know why we did. And then that goes back to the play calling. I don't know why we didn't give him the football more. Of course, Leak Neighbors, our star receiver, 5 catches for 71 yards, made a couple fantastic plays. Everyone was not talking about the great catch he made on 3rd down where he came back to the football, caught at the ball at the high point, came back to it and made a great catch to keep the drive alive. Nobody's talking about that. They're talking about the faces he made and the arguing he was doing with Coach Dable. And listen, I there's a very fine line. And as I coach sports, I coach high school sports. It's not pros, I get it. You're dealing with a different kind of athlete as the pro. But those everybody wants to if you're an athlete at an elite level, you want to win. Okay. Losing does not make you happy. No one's going to be happy if you're losing, especially if you are an elite athlete at an elite level. You're one of the top 10% at your position. You're one of the probably the top 5 or 6 players at your position in the league. You want the football. You want to win. You want to go out there and compete and perform and be part of that. And he wasn't getting it. That wasn't happening because Russ was running for his life. Running for his life in the backfield. Okay. But Neighbors still made it happen when he got the opportunity to. Wandale also had a good game, 6 catches for 55 yards. Obviously, no touchdowns. We lost 21-6. No one scored any touchdowns. We got a little production. I mean, it is what it is at this point, folks. The offense is not good. We have talent. Changing Russ, and I've seen a lot of chatter about making a quarterback move. Okay, Coach Dable came out today's Wednesday, so Wednesday morning or yesterday afternoon or late yesterday, whatever it was at his presser. I think it might have been this afternoon. He said Russell Wilson is our starting quarterback. He's QB1 against Dallas this week. No, do I think he has a short leash? Probably. But here's what we don't want, Giant Man. And listen, you're going to disagree with me, and that's okay. If we all agreed on everything, this would be a really boring podcast. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't want to see Jackson Dart in the football game because Brian Daboll is trying to save his job. Because putting Jackson Dart in right now, while he might provide us a little bit of spark, putting Jackson Dart in the football game is not helping the New York Giants because he's going to get beat down because we can't block anyone. He's not going to have time to throw the football. And then we're going to hate on him and we're going to call him a bust and we wasted a draft pick. I can already see it. I can visualize it on social media right now. And my other New York Giants influencers will tell you the same thing. You're going to get the same people, the same crowd. They're going to hate on him and they're going to call for Dable to be fired. They're going to call for Joe Shane to be fired, even though he had a fantastic 2 drafts. Because we put Jackson Dart in a position to fail. Just like we did with Daniel Jones. Now, Daniel Jones is not a good NFL quarterback. He's not. He's average to below average. His Sunday stats will say otherwise, but that's 1 of 17. We'll see how he does against a real NFL team because right now the Miami Dolphins ain't it. And I got hate for saying that too, by the way. I got hate for saying the Dolphins are in a real NFL team, but they didn't play good. I don't want to hear it's not Tua. The team sucks. All right. Miami Dolphins suck. And look, nobody was a bigger champion of Daniel Jones when he was a Giant than me. And I love seeing him succeed. I was rooting for him. I'm still going to root for him. I hope he does well. Nobody was a bigger Daniel Jones fan than me. I have a jersey. I had 2 jerseys. I have a hoodie that has a number 8 on it. Okay. I got shit from my tailgate buddies. You know who you are. They're my Tommy DeVito, my girls, my tailgate girls. Loving the Tommy DeVito. In fact, there may or may not be a photo floating around of me dressed as Tommy DeVito's agent. I can neither confirm or deny that. All right, but I want to see Daniel Jones succeed. But the same thing is going to happen if we put Jackson Dart in there. Jackson Dart has exorbitantly more talent than Daniel Jones has. He's got more talent in his right arm than Daniel Jones has in his entire body. Okay? But putting him in now is not the right move. It's not the right move. I'll die on this hill. Let's talk about it in the comments. You want to send me hate mail, you want to write something, tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why. Tell me what's going to be better. How are we going to be better? How are we going to win football games with the same offensive line and Jackson Dart? It's not going to happen, folks. I'm telling you right now. And speaking of offensive line, they're terrible. Okay, here's what we need. We need Andrew Thomas to earn his pay because the guy's been soft since he got paid. He got paid, and now this foot injury. Listen, I know foot injuries take time, but it's been a year. I think he played in 4 or 5, maybe 6 games last year, out for the season, still hurting. I know. Listen, 70% Andrew Thomas is better than 100% of what we got right now. Get out there, dude. Help this team win football games. You're the best right tackle in the league. I said it last week. Okay. And everything, by the way, Ryan, last week, everything that I said we had to do to win that football game, we either did not do it or we let the other team do it to us, whether it was the only thing that we did or we didn't do in this case was turn the football over, which is hallelujah, praise Jesus. I love that. There was no turnovers in this game. It was great. It was a good, that was a sound game that way. But we didn't make open field tackles. I think they had 32 rushes for 220 yards. The Commanders did last week. Okay, didn't make open field tackles. I mean, if I had to watch Jaden Daniels roll out to his right one more time and throw on the run, I mean, come on, guys. Guess what? Jaden Daniels, if you flush him out of the pocket, he's going to roll to his right, and he's going to make a play. If he rolls to his right, he's throwing the football. If he rolls to his left, he's going to run it because he can't throw from right to his left. Okay? I am not an NFL coach. I am the furthest thing from an NFL coach, but I know enough about football to know what was going on in that football game. And how the Giants coaching staff did not see this is absolutely beyond me. Anyway, there were so many things that we didn't do right in that football game. And I called it last week. We kept down on the dumb penalties for the most part. I think we only had 4 penalties. The Redskins or the Commanders had like 10 or 12. Right? You know, the defense was not terrible. They didn't do everything they should have done, but they weren't terrible. Okay, they made plays downfield sometimes. They made good tackles. The secondary was getting a little tore up. Flott was getting tore up because they knew they weren't going to throw it to the other side. They were going to throw right at Flott, and there he was, getting burnt, getting eaten up. And I called it. I told you that was going to happen. Micah McFadden. Let's talk about that for a second. Another one of the bad things. McFadden's foot. Initially, I think it was on Washington's scoring drive where they were inside the 5-yard line and McFadden got his foot trapped underneath him. And I said, well, that's McFadden's done for the year. Thankfully, he's not done for the year. Injury report came out today. We'll get over that in a few minutes, but McFadden is not done for the year. That's great news. He does have to have surgery, so he's going to be out probably 6 or 8 weeks, but we will see Micah McFadden back when we desperately need him. Manua came in for him, and immediately Washington scored a touchdown. They went right at him. This is what good football coaches do. They went right at it, Manua, and they scored their touchdown. You know, and then they had another touchdown later in the game, and then the final touchdown they got, we just couldn't make tackles. I mean, DK Metcalf is an absolute freak of nature, but we got to make tackles, guys. Bobby Burns, you had 2 sacks, buddy, and I love it. Okay, Bobby O had 16 tackles. That was a good thing. He's our stud, man. You know that was going to happen, right? We were getting to the quarterback. We were pressuring Daniels. That made me very happy to see. Kayvon Thibodeau looked like a different player. Hopefully that continues. Bobby O, like I said, Bobby O had 16 tackles. Bobby Burns had 2 sacks. And let's talk about our rookie, Abdul Carter, for a second, number 51. That young man was in the backfield being disruptive the entire game. Had his first sack. It was actually a half a sack, but he had his first NFL sack. And then it made a huge play later in the game. He blocked the punt on special teams when he threw a great move on his blocker and got to the punter. And everyone thought that was going to should have been a roughing the kicker. But once they watch the replay, the slow-mo replay, you can tell that Carter got his hand on the football. So great job by him. I'm looking forward to see what else he can do. But all in all, guys, not a great look for the New York Giants. Frustrating game to watch, especially on offense. The defense, I felt the defense did almost enough for us to win that football game, at least to have a shot at winning that football game. But It is what it is. Okay, the offense got to get better. Can't get worse. I mean, we could be the Dolphins. We could have got shut out. Okay, but 6 points is not cutting it, guys. It's not cutting it. So, Coach Dable, you got work to do. I hope we have a plan against Dallas this week. And listen, Dallas came off. Dallas came off a loss 24-20 to Philly, and I'm going to tell you right now, Dallas Philly game was not good. That was not a good football game to watch. Okay, we had the whole thing with Jalen Carter getting thrown out of the game before a snap was even taken. In between the opening kickoff and taking the field, he spit on Dak Prescott. And listen, whether you'd agree with that Dak spit on him first or not, because my take, I mean, I hate both teams. I was rooting for a giant meteor. That's why I wanted to win that game. I wanted a sinkhole to open up under Lincoln Financial. But Dak did spit. I saw the video. He didn't spitting at somebody and spitting on somebody, not the same. Spitting on somebody, if I am not mistaken, spitting on someone is actually assault, is it not? That could have been assault. As Billy Madison said, that's assault, brother. Right? That's assault, brother. So he got tossed, changed the entire game as far as how Philly was going to attack Dallas defensively. He's the best player they have on defense. He's probably, after Saquon and Jalen Hurts, he's probably Carter is the third best player on that team. And him doing what he did, which was not surprising if you know his history from college. And there's a reason why everyone passed on him in the draft besides Philly. Typical Philly, though, picking that guy. Typical Philly. I'm going to get hate for that, but I'm not wrong. Hit me all you want, bring it. But I'm not wrong. Yeah, I mean, he spit. He cost his team. It could have cost him the game. Philly only won by 4, and they didn't play their best. But everything that they do runs through that guy. Their whole defensive scheme runs through Jalen Carter, and he did not do them any service by getting thrown out of the game before. And Dallas, good for them. You know, Brian Schottenheimer, by the way, is going to be a very good coach in this league for a long time. As much as I hate the Cowboys, I actually respect him. I like him as a coach. His father was a fantastic football coach, and he's obviously learned a lot from his old man. So the Cowboys, listen, if they can get rid of Jerry Jones somehow, they have a chance to be a good football team in a couple of years. Because right now they're not. They're not. I don't care, Cowboy fans. You can come at me too, because your team is not good. You're probably better than the Giants, but you are not a good football team. Despite only losing to Philly by 4, because Philly played terrible. That was a bad football game. All right. Anyway, you just derailed the thought train, the Scotto thought train. Anyway, yeah, that was a bad football game. You had the weather delay in the third quarter that completely disrupted the flow of that game, because that was actually turning into a good football game. Dallas was driving down the field. Miles Sanders, the ex-Eagle, was running roughshod on the Eagles, and Dallas was going to punch it in and maybe take the lead in that football game, or at least cut down. And he coughed it up. Philly recovered it, and then the skies opened up. There was lightning, and then I don't remember exactly. I think it was an hour delay before they let fans back in, and they got the football game going, and you had CeeDee Lamb running around. Or was it not CeeDee Lamb? Who was the other guy? I can't remember. The Diggs, the corner for the Cowboys, was walking around the tunnel looking for food. He actually went into the lounge, the fan where the fans are, where there's food there underneath, and was trying to scrub some food. And they finally brought some food they brought some Uncrustables and some sandwiches to the locker room. But it was weird. It disrupted the flow of the game. Just, I don't know. And when they came back, I don't think anybody scored the rest of the game. It ended up being 24-20. and it was just not a good football game. So this is what we get this week, okay? Dak did not have a good game. Dak was 134 yards passing, not great. Okay, less than Russ, if you can believe that. Between Williams and Sanders, they only had 119 yards rushing. I think most of that was Miles Sanders. So we're going to have to key on that. That kid can run. If you remember him in Philly, he's a good player. It was a good pickup by Dallas, especially against Philly last week, and he was running until he fumbled that football. But you know what you're going to get with CeeDee Lamb and Pickens receiving. I think 110-yard receiving from Lamb. Could have had more, but I think he dropped a couple crucial catches towards the end of that football game. So he's one of those guys you could get right in his head. So we're going to have our hands full again on the outside. But the thing what I like about this week's matchup against Dallas is, and I'm going to say this, and then again, probably going to disagree with me. And there will be a lot of fans, especially Cowboys fans, if you're watching, Rich, who will also disagree with me. Dak Prescott is a good NFL quarterback. He's top tier. He's top tier quarterback. Okay. Plus the fact he's a nice guy. You know, nice guys don't necessarily, that doesn't win football games, but he's hard to root against, besides the fact that he wears a star on his helmet. Dak Prescott as a person is a good dude, and I like watching him play. But he is not Jaden Daniels. He is not mobile. He is not going to run out of the pocket. He has a history of getting injured against the Giants. I think torn Achilles one year, broken thumb one year. Just every time he has a season-ending injury, it comes against the Giants. But he's a good football player. He's a good quarterback. I don't think the Cowboys have the horses outside of their two wide receivers to make a lot of noise. But they're a better football team than the Giants right now. So we're going to have our hands full. Okay. We had 3.5 sacks or 4.5 sacks this week against Washington. I think the Cowboys had 1 against Philly, but that's not saying anything because Philadelphia's offensive line is the best in football. I think the Cowboys miss Micah Parsons. I don't care what any Cowboys fan says. I don't care what Jerry Jones says. It does not pass the smell test. Any team that didn't have Micah Parsons would miss Micah Parsons. Yes, I know he's hurt and he didn't play a ton for Green Bay, but when he was in there, he was effective. He was disruptive. He's Micah Parsons, top 5 defensive player in the league, maybe the best. They're going to miss him this year. Okay, when you play in Philly, it's a different animal because they're powerful offensively. They're good. They have problems on defense this year, and they lost a lot. But they're still Philly. They're still probably the team to beat in the NFC. But Green Bay looked good. So it's hard to gauge it whether Dallas played well or Philly played bad, and this kept Dallas in the game. Jalen Carter being thrown out of that game changes a lot of things defensively for the Eagles. So I don't know what's going on. Hard to say. Again, I feel like you don't really know who you are in the NFL. You don't know who your football team is until after week 3. And the Giants, right now, could easily be 0-3 by the end of week 3 because we got Dallas this week, and then we're home next week, which is going to be fun because I'm going to be doing some stuff live from the parking lot. I'm going to be doing some interviews and recording some stuff, and getting some good footage. But we could easily be 0-3 by the time that comes around. So this week, you have to get to Dak. You have to get to Dak Prescott. Okay. You have to continue working on stopping the run because Washington did not and does not have elite backs. Okay. Dallas doesn't have elite backs, but I feel like what they have is better than what Washington has. I don't feel like their offensive line is as good as Washington, maybe around the same. But I'm telling you right now, if we are not getting pressure on Dak Prescott, he is going to tear us apart. Okay. Pickens and Lamb will rip us apart. And don't forget, it's always the tight end show when somehow, again, here's one of those things that I said earlier is like, I am not an NFL coach. I'm the furthest thing from an NFL coach. I'm a lacrosse coach, but I've been watching football long enough to know how the game is played. And somehow, if I was a tight end for the Dallas Cowboys today, in the shape that I'm in, I could go out there and have 17 catches for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. Somehow their scheme against our defense always has their tight end wide open, whether it was, Jay Novacek back in the day, or who's the I'm dropping the names. I can't remember. I'm getting old. The other kid that they had for a long time with Romo there, that kid was always wide open. And it's the kid that's now with Texas, always wide open. The kid they have now, always wide open. I don't know how I see this, and our coaches do not. So expect, if you have the Dallas tight end and your fantasy team this week, definitely start him. But offensively, listen, I don't feel like Dallas has guys that are going to get to the quarterback a ton, right? You don't have to worry about Micah Parsons. Let's take baby steps here. Let's focus on pass protection. Focus on opening up holes for Scadaboo and opening up holes for Tracy. Give him the ball. For God's sakes, please give Scadaboo the ball. Let him run the football. Let him get some kind of rhythm. We were so out of rhythm last week. They'll test this Cowboys defense. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to commit stupid penalties on defense. They're going to. That's what they do. That's Dallas. Ever since Parcells' era, when he left, that's been their MO. Yeah, they're going to commit stupid penalties. That puts them in position to lose games. We got to take advantage. Defensively, get to Dak. Don't let him stand in the pocket and pick us apart, because he will, because he has elite talent. Jason Witten, thank you, sir. Jason Witten was the tight end. I had a picture of him in my head. I just couldn't remember the name. Guy tore us apart. I mean, if you looked up his stats for his career against the New York Giants, I guarantee you they're Hall of Fame stats. Like, it's a career for every other tight end in the league for as many years as he was in the league. I'm telling you, though, we have to protect Dak. Get to Dak. Try and stop the run, or at least slow him down. Make open field tackles, guys. Okay? Make open field tackles. Catch the football, for God's sakes. Okay? There was a couple times when we had wide open guys. We had guys wide open. Ball went right to him, drop. Crucial third downs. We needed it. And we were marching down the field. No guts. It's bad. It's bad football, guys. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what we got to do. Okay, the big thing is get to Dak, protect Russ. Okay, please, God. I know that Dart is QB2 right now, but please do not let anything happen to Russ. Do not put this young man in the position to fail. Do not put Jackson Dart in this football game. Unless it's an absolute emergency, please do not put this young man in the football game. I beg you, because it is not the right move. He's not ready, no matter what he did in the preseason or how much you want him. And this is going to be an absurd. Remember, I told you earlier, I don't like saying things that I don't believe in. But I actually do. This is a wild thing to say for me, and anybody who knows me this way will absolutely be like, "What?" when they hear this. I would almost rather see Tommy DeVito in the football game than Jackson Dart, because I do not feel like he's ready for the NFL yet. I think he needs to sit. You want to put him in later in the season? Yes. Okay, let's do it. But game 2 against Dallas, please do not do it. We're not ready for it. He's not ready for it, because the offensive line sucks. There's no way to sugarcoat that and make it sound better. Win the turnover battle, guys. Okay, that's going to be Dak. Dak's going to throw picks. Dak's going to try to force the ball in when he can. Okay, he's going to try to force the ball to CeeDee Lamb. He's going to try to force the ball to Pickens. Cover the tight end. Those are the things we need to do defensively. Play good special teams. Robbie Gould was our offense on Sunday. Keep that 55-yarder as the half expired. Okay, kept us in that football game. We have him last year in the game in Washington, and we win that game. Okay, but it was good to see him out there still hitting field goals. But win the special teams. We were good on special teams the other day. We didn't allow kickoffs and punt, big returns. We did the right things. We had a block punt. So special teams, we were good. But stopping the run and protecting the quarterback, man. Those two things are the key to the game, period. I don't care about anything else. Those two things right there. I'm not going to make a whole rigmarole about this. So it's easy. It's elementary, as Sherlock Holmes would say. Protect the quarterback. Protect the quarterback, please, and put pressure on the opposing quarterback. Those are the things we need to do to have a chance to win this football game. So, my prediction: Dallas 27, Giants 17. We are going to lose this football game because it's in Dallas. That's what we do. 27-17 Dallas. We are going to put some points on the board this week. We're going to go into our home opener a week from Sunday, 0-2. Write that down. Lock it up. And then we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'll be there again. I'll be there. I'll be getting some content for you guys. I'll be doing some fun things. Maybe we'll get some Swifties. Hey, maybe Miss Thing herself will come on. Bleeding Blue. Maybe I can get the future Mrs. Travis Kelce to come on. I mean, she's already doing podcasts now, right? Did you see her on the Kelce Boys podcast? She was great. She was actually good. That was the longest podcast in history, by the way. I sat through it with my daughter. Most of it, anyway. I didn't watch all of it. I went to bed after like an hour and 15 minutes. I couldn't take it anymore. But maybe I can get Miss Taylor Swift to come on Bleeding Blue. We'll see. Big Blue Confidential. Love to see it. But yeah, that'll be fun. There'll be a lot of Swifties there. We'll talk to some. We'll get some Giant fans. I'll interview my friends. I'll introduce you to my folks, my peeps in J18. Because they're great people. You're going to love them, and you're going to see a lot of them this year if you're going to watch the show. But I can't say enough great things about them. I'm excited about the home opener. As much as it pains me to sit there and watch the product we're putting on the field, I do love being there. The atmosphere. There's nothing like being in an NFL football game. And it's the people for me. It's the whole experience. And I'm going to try to bring some of that to you if I can here on Big Blue Confidential. So once again, Giants fall to the Cowboys 27-17 this week in Dallas. Come home 0-2, and we'll see what we got against the Chiefs. But again, let's not do anything irrational. Please stop calling for Jackson Dart to start over Russ. Okay, if anything, put Jameis in. If you want to make a change, make the change. Put Jameis in. Maybe Jameis has a little bit more. But Jameis he's a gunslinger, right? He's going to go out there and he's going to have fun. He's going to throw. He might throw 4 touchdown passes, but he's going to throw 6 interceptions. Yeah. I like it. Friars. I like it. Suggestion to call fans of the show Friars. We'll see. I'll either unless you guys come up with something better than that. But listen, guys, it's a dangerous place in the world right now. You know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the state of things that are going on right now are great and everything's happy. Football is an escape from reality for us, but it's a dangerous place right now. So please, when you're out there with your families and your friends and your loved ones, please be careful. Please watch your back. Please watch your friends' backs when you're out, and just take care of each other, man. Let's be good to each other. Let's not hate. Stop the hate. Unless you're a Philly fan. If you're a Philly fan, then F you. Right? But no, seriously. We gotta stop. We gotta stop with this. Right? This is a bad road. This is the bad road we're headed down. So let's be good to each other, guys. Stick around and come back and see us next week. Again, this is Big Blue Confidential. I'm your host, Scott Fryer. Got my man Brian Landry behind the board over here from Everlasting Veteran. I want to thank Everlasting Veteran for being producer of the show and owning the show for me. And it's been a lot of fun. And we have a lot of things that we plan on doing in the 2025 NFL season. We are just getting warmed up, folks. So 27-17 Dallas on Sunday afternoon. Giants are going to go home 0-2. We'll see what we got. We'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks again for watching Big Blue Confidential. We'll see you.